Some people sit back and go, Jerome, but where exactly does this housing shortage come from? Well, population has increased. In the early 1990s, our population was just over 4 billion people. Today, we have just under 8 billion people on Earth. So from 2009 to 2019, we only built 6 million homes as an entire nation. Single-family homes take a hit again, and with the current market right now anticipated to warm up into 2024, investors are mildly disappointed to see that housing takeoffs have slumped and were 4.3% lower than analysts projected that we'd be at this time right now. Now, what does it look like on a macro scale from year over year from 12 months ago? When we look at single family home takeoffs, we're actually up in excess of 21% over where we were with new permits being issued for brand new builds in 2023, just 12 months ago. Multifamily is down compared to where analysts thought it would be, but up over 43% over what it was last year at this exact time. So in spite of what analysts were hoping the projections would be, we are still pulling more permits than we were even just a year ago. And housing prices remain over 36% higher than they were pre-pandemic. With the numbers being escalated as high as they are right now, one of the big throttles that most people are concerned with is how long the market can bear the current conditions under current interest rates. Now, even though resale is down currently and we're starting to see a slump in the market because the Feds came out in January and they said, look, we're going to lower interest rates up to 4 times and up to 2 basis points in 2024. Now, when that happened, everybody got really excited. But in spite of them stating that in late December, early January, no interest rate reductions have yet been facilitated, nor have interest rates come down at all in any sector since that announcement, throttling real estate both in multifamily and single family builds. And so one of the biggest concerns that people have right now is how much longer are interest rates going to continue to stay where they're at or even inflate? And do we have a chance this year in 2024 to breathe from the expense of debt that's affecting the market, not just in single family, but in multifamily real estate? Now, let's talk a little bit about the single family game, because I know that's where most people are starting off. But one thing that I know about our audience is that everybody watching wants to scale into the multifamily game. And so we'll finish by talking about what this means for multifamily and what this means ultimately for you as investors and how you should be looking at today's current market, where your money should be parked, and some of the reasons behind it. Now, the reason that analysts thought that the market was going to be substantially better than what it is because they know that there's a massive demand. Now, how do we know we need this demand? It's because right now, ladies and gentlemen, in a normal market where there's supply and demand and the supply surplus was higher than the demand itself, there would have to be massive discounts with the vast majority of all builders. Yet, the average median builders of homes $400,000 or lower are the ones reducing their price. And yet, in spite of the slowdown in the market and high interest rates, it's only limited to less than 22% of all builders that are having price reductions. And those price reductions are that of less than 6% per single family home. So a very modest variation compared to the 36% increase that we've seen in prices since the pandemic. Now, with that said, the reason the market is holding so strong with pricing is the fact that the vast majority of people are still in need of homes, and there is still a massive demand and not enough inventory on the market, which is going to mean that here's what happened in 2008. Let me explain this to you guys as investors and as builders. Those people that can get their heads mentally straight are the ones that are going to benefit from the upside of what is to be over the course of the next 24 months. And here's why. We build approximately 11 million homes every 10 years. Now, over the last 100 years, if you look back historically, and you even go back to the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, the average is 10 to 11 million homes annually that we can build as a nation. And so when we look at the quantity of homes that were built in 2009, some people sit back and go, Jerome, but where exactly does this housing shortage come from? Well, population has increased. When I graduated high school in the 1990s, in the early 1990s, our population was just over 4 billion people. Today, we have just under 8 billion people on the earth. So the population is just shy of doubled, but yet we haven't kept up with the demand of housing over the course of that growth. So from 2009 to 2019, we only built in that decade, we only built 6 million homes as an entire nation. That's 4 million homes less than what we're in need of on the average. Plus, we have this influx of not just the baby boomers getting older, but we have the Gen X population, and now we have the millennials that are buying homes, and next is the Gen Z population that are just a few years away from them themselves needing homes as well. And all three of these categories make the baby boomer age look like a deficit in population growth, whereas at one time, it was the biggest boom in US history for babies that boomed into life and then needed homes into a certain demographic. Now those baby boomers are in retirement age, and they're the ones that are in retirement homes or assisted living today. So look, understand that right now, the deficit that happened between 2009 and 2019 is what's throttling the market and the lack of inventory. So the more builders start to restrict their builds and lower amounts of homes are being built in the market, the better it is for you guys, because all that does is it takes away from the need and the demand from that 10 to 11 million homes that are typically built every decade. So we'll watch with the year over year, decade, 10-year build time produced over the last 10 years in just the next few years. And my prediction is that we're probably closer to 8 to 9 million as opposed to 10 to 11 million over a decade because of all these volatile times where builders contract. If you get a big builder like D.R. Horton, like Pulte, like Lennar, like LGI, some of the big guys, Toll Brothers, and you take a look at these builders, you just don't vamp up overnight. So what happens when things contract and they take their foot off the pedal, it's thousands upon thousands of houses nationwide that they pull their foot off the pedal. And there's one thing that's harder to do than anything, and that's create momentum. The second hardest thing to do is advancing momentum. But once momentum's built, you want to keep the catalyst behind the growth of that momentum swinging like a pendulum. Because if you stop that pendulum from swinging, the hardest thing to do is get it to swing again and create that momentum. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're a residential investor, pay attention, because right now, in spite of the market throttling, we are still experiencing high prices. Price reductions are not affecting the overall profitability except for a modest 6% off the top end. So don't be confused by the reductions of homes being built in the market. Understand that right now is your opportunity to take advantage of them. Those people who pay attention and strategically position themselves to win right now are the ones that are going to have momentum to advance into the near future. The ones that contract are the ones that'll have to create momentum. And during that lag time of you creating momentum, you're going to lose on 1, 2, 4, 8 projects that you could have started making momentum on right now. So the time to buy land, build houses is right now. Now, let's take a look at how you invest that money and you roll that capital into the multifamily sector. There's a lot of inventory that was built over the last 5 years. In fact, we have a 2-year inventory that we have an absorption rate that has to be facilitated over the next 2 years. A lot of inventory that was built over the last couple years is coming to the market right now today. There's 2 variables in the multifamily sector that are affecting multifamily building. One is banking. Interest rates are unbelievably high compared to where they were 2 years ago, because cap rates doubled and went from a 3% cap rate back up to a 6 or 7% cap rate. That means values actually fell in half. So that's right, ladies and gentlemen, a $5 million apartment complex today is only worth $2.5 million in real banking underwriting numbers. And so when multifamily is on the brinks of slowing down, it's a time for you to start picking up momentum, because right now, ladies and gentlemen, when most people cannot afford to get loans, you don't have to get into big multifamily. Just consider a 4-plex, a 6-unit, an 8-unit, a 10-unit, something modest. And if you've ever seen me talk about the value spread, even on a small 8-unit or 10-unit of multifamily apartment complex, it is life-changing for the vast majority of the average people. At the end of this video, I'm going to put a link connecting you to a video that I broke down an entire underwriting last week And depending when you look at this video, it's a week older than the video that actually sits right now today. And so I'm going to put a link to that video that explains how to underwrite cost to build and stabilize value on new residential multifamily apartments today. Look, don't sleep on residential at all. From single family to multifamily. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the time to pay close attention to what's actually happening in the market. Most of you guys don't have hundreds of homes that are being built annually and the payroll that you have to go in and service. So if you yourself can go out and build one home or two homes over the next 1 year, as interest rates are still high, you will sell it because the demand is there. And even if you have to go in and erase 6% of the overall price on that home, you're still going to make profits if you follow a business model that's proven and works. And so, ladies and gentlemen, right now is not the time to sleep on residential or multifamily. It's the time for you to pay attention, to learn, and continue migrating forward through this crazy market of volatility. It's the media that affects the mental state of most buyers, investors in residential and multifamily real estate. Don't be subjected to the vast majority of what's happening with the negativity out there. Educate yourself smartly and wisely. Learn how to underwrite these things and underwrite them based on today's current market, not on next year's or the following year's projections, but today's crazy market. And if you can underwrite in this crazy market today, where the cost of money is expensive and the cost to build from inflation is high and the numbers work, the refinance of tomorrow is going to show to be promising for the vast majority of people who stay focused and in the game today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like content just like this and want more of it, then click and subscribe to our YouTube channel, smash that thumbs up button, and at the end of this video, I'm going to recommend 2 videos that you should watch for your long-term education to be able to stimulate growth in your financial future, and you can continue going out and compounding your success. Click and subscribe, pound that thumbs up button, and we'll see you next time.